One, boom.
That was a big jump, Neil.
And just as we say that, in comes libation from Nicole from Rootstock Collective right down the street.
Neil, guess what? We're back.
We're back.
The Off the Lip Radio Show. Are we a podcast officially? Have we
Yeah. No, we're
Off the Lip.
Yeah, but we
podcasts.
no more politics. No. Hang on a
do
minute.
have one
Next
more.
week is the
John
mayor, Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
John Mayer.
No, the mayor of
John
Santa
Mayer.
Cruz. Fred,
And John Laird will be back. So welcome everybody back to another great show right here from the beautiful Santa Cruz Boardroom in Pleasure Point, California. If you haven't been here, don't come. It's terrible.
It sucks.
It's really not that great.
No, it's not the waves suck.
Yeah, it's windy today.
Wind shit is cold,
Yeah.
cold, motherfucking
I
cold.
saw a piece of trash on the street.
It's not good.
Yeah, Pleasure Point. No bueno.
No.
But that being said, very bueno here tonight. Toby Corey's back, Neil.
Well,
Last time we had him on the show, we didn't have to talk. It was great.
he was drunk.
Was that what it was? It was an awesome show. Toby Corey's back, everybody.
Toby Corey's back. And Toby Corey, by the way, I had a lot of gigs. I explained online all week. Online.
Yes.
I had a lot of gigs, but one was a lecturer at Stanford University.
Yeah, he was
And a former president of...
a professor at Stanford? Can we say that?
More like lecturer.
A
Lecturer.
Okay.
And a former...
Still impressive though.
Very
A
impressive.
former
Like, kindergarten.
professor at...
You okay?
No.
Are you having a stroke right now, Neil? This might be the first stroke on the Off Lip Radio Show. Is your arm still hanging right now? Okay, so
Let me ask you a question about... Speaking of hanging,
Yeah.
what was hanging on you in the last 20 minutes?
I don't know.
Over there in the fucking bar.
The good
Who
thing
was she hanging all over you?
By the way, she was crazy.
Yeah.
And I pulled the pin on the grenade and handed it to Toby, and that worked out awesome.
Toby,
Yeah, it was-
what the fuck was that?
Yeah, so this is what the...
I'm in shock.
Besides that, we had a
Lorna,
great-
Lorna,
Engaged.
I mean,
Engaged.
let me just say a shout to Lorna. Lorna, just, don't worry about it. It's just,
Okay, I'm sure she's watching. Yeah. Thanks, Neil. By the way, everyone, welcome back to the Off Lip Radio Show, live from beautiful Santa Cruz Boardroom, right here in Pleasure Point. I might not have told you that, but I will say it again. This place is terrible. Do not come here. And now, besides that, Toby Corey's back tonight.
Yes.
We're going to rewind everybody. He's been here on the show before. He has a prolific portfolio and resume, and we're going to catch up to what's going on today.
more gigs.
You know what?
What do you think? 10 gigs? No, 15 gigs?
Are we
Different.
talking memory?
15.
It's going to be a 100 gig hard drive for
Yeah.
We're talking big time stuff.
Yeah.
And let's just jump right into it.
But he did say to me earlier on that this was his favorite podcast.
Which I love that. And by the way, we didn't say what show it is tonight. We're at 987,
No idea. It's a lot.
maybe?
We're getting
We're
toward
getting
it.
close to the 1,000
Yeah,
show,
I know.
everybody. Pete Madden, if you're out there driving, I hope it's not too snowy right now. So 2 hands on the wheel for you tonight. Is Pete going to come to our 1,000 show?
Who knows what's coming to? Who
Pete,
knows
are
this?
you RSVPing?
Are we having a bash? Are we having a bash?
Well, you're having a bash that
We
night.
should have a
Yeah,
little bit of a
we're gonna have
bash.
band. It's going to be a big night.
Yeah.
Pete, you're the only guest that I'm inviting right now. So, and he's one of the, those
The
Great Lakes
human
surfers,
cannonball.
WWF guy.
Yeah.
No,
Anybody's a professional, semi-professional wrestler he lives in Wisconsin and Milwaukee, where there is fuck all to do.
I think
is-
Pete comments on every one of our Instagram
He does.
posts too.
Yeah.
Number one fan.
Number one fan.
Pete Madden.
Yes.
You know what the great thing about Pete told me?
Pete.
When he wrestled, he put a little razor blade in his throat.
Yeah.
And then when he'd run around and he would slice his forehead and then bleed like crazy. Like, who does that stuff? That's committed.
She did tonight. That chick with the what was her name?
Catalina psychoticness. Let's jump right in to our guest tonight.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is kind of abrupt.
It is abrupt. Welcome back to the show, Toby. It's great to have you here.
Thank you so
Neil,
much.
jump around. I'll maintain over here right now.
Let me get involved.
Yeah, get involved.
Let me get involved because tonight, because we asked him back, and he goes, Neil, I want to talk about surfing and psychedelics.
I love that. Well,
That's true.
and
Right? Was it?
well, psychedelics is
100%
and
man.
Toby.
Wait,
Just
R-rated or G-rated?
No, there's no.
No rating.
No rating.
No. You can say whatever you want. You can swear. It doesn't matter. Psychedelics. Is that the right word that we're going to talk about?
Hang on, there's a chick in the room. Who's she?
Nicole, our neighbor. Hi, Nicole. Hi. Yeah.
Get back to us.
Yeah. Is psychedelics the correct word that we should be using right now for this discussion?
You call it psychedelics. You can call it plant medicine.
Plant medicine? Yeah, because
Shamanic truth.
I know there's different ways that you can categorize it. I feel like sometimes it gets a bad name when you call it psychedelics because to me that's sort of the drug term, not the medical term. And so that's the only reason I bring that up.
I like plant medicine personally.
Well, I think
psychedelics is kind of like a very electric word. It gets everyone's attention.
It does, right?
Whatever floats your boat.
What is it get us up to what plant medicines are, why it's important to you, and why you're involved in it right now? Maybe.
Dude, that's a fucking really deep question. I'm gonna try to distill that down. So, I'm gonna start with some science. Okay, so let's start. Aside from the consciousness, which is a whole different topic for our podcast, let's just talk about brain science. And so we all have basically 5 basic brainwave statuses. So delta is when we're all in deep sleep, right? You're nodded out. You're gone.
I love Delta.
Out, right?
Love Delta.
Mm-hmm.
Who loves Delta here?
Well, after I take a psychotic.
Theta is when you're very drowsy in a sleep, semi-conscious.
I love that too.
Right?
Who loves that?
Maybe some sativa that you smoked or hit a bong hit on. Okay, so those are mainly those 2 states. Most of us spend our time what's called a beta wave state. Okay, we can all relate. This is a very choppy brain wave, and I didn't make this call. I got to drop this person off here. I've got my web browser up with 20 different tabs, my email, my Slack. You have a lot going on.
Chaos.
Yeah, chaos, exactly.
Yeah.
Unfocused time. One, it's not healthy. Your body's under a lot of stress and turmoil. Mm-hmm. And under long periods of time, not good health benefits from that.
Hard to sleep when that's going on. Yeah.
Can't do anything. And we all live in that state, the beta phase wave. Very choppy. There's 2 really interesting brainwave states. One is called alpha, and this is more like I smoked a really good sativa, really mellow brainwaves. I'm walking on the beach in Santa Cruz. I just left my phone away. I just walked away from my office. I'm breathing. The more interesting brainwave is gamma. So there's this foundation called the Transcendental Meditation Foundation. John Hagelin runs it right now as a theoretical physicist, and they claim that you need to form a mindful state and get into what's called a gamma brainwave state. So this is like flow.
Well, he's in right now. He's in right now.
I'm in Gamma right now. Absolutely.
Here's
Great, and also a great band, Gamma.
Who?
Yeah, Gamma.
Here's how I know.
Yeah.
Monophonics. When are they coming back to Moe's Alley? Anyway, gamma wave state is like these very tight waves. They're all symmetrical. It's where the greatest learning comes from and greatest breakthroughs come through. So anyone's ever played sports, when you literally can't miss a 3-point shot, or a math problem becomes really easy for you, and or you're in a yoga class, and I'm just literally everything is flowing so easy. Watching a stream flow, right?
Why is it flowing so easy?
The Gamma.
Because your brain waves in that's where the greatest learning is and the greatest neuroplasticity is, and where psychedelics plays a really important, or plant medicine plays a really important element, potentially in all of our lives.
Should we be taking psychedelics when we do yoga?
No, I didn't catch the last couple words of what you just said. Oh, okay, gotcha. To get you in that Gamma state?
All of us, right.
Does Gamma come easy to people?
It can. So we're kind of circling back to what I think we might want to talk about tonight, which is the connection between surfing and psychedelics. Is that so? I'm going to cut to the chase and where you can get as deep as you guys want to get to.
I love that.
So for me,
we want to get. You want to go deep.
I always want to go deep, brother.
We're talking about
Is there
surfing?
any other way to go?
No.
Well, we have libation here.
So My brain is always working in overtime. Hold on a second.
That's some great lemonade.
It's hard to shut down. So the best way for me, like I tried meditation, breathing, mindfulness. Some people works great. I have a hard time with that. Surfing
Did you have to deal with Elon Musk? Was it easy to deal with him on? What are you shaking?
I'm waiting for the tagline, and I was.
I know.
Can you interrupt after he finishes what he's saying?
We were at our gamma state and you ruined it.
No, stay right there. Okay.
I'm fucking easy, dude.
We're gonna back up 15. We're gonna back up 15 seconds. My point being is, let's get back to the surfing
I'm over here.
and gamma and how affects you.
Okay, so I have always had a hard time like doing transcendental meditation, any breathing, any yoga. Like my brain is always like literally on fire. So the best thing and the one thing that I found is surfing. And here's why. I have no laptop. I have no cell phone. I'm out there. I'm paddling out. And like, we all live here in Santa Cruz. In particular, the energy of the Pacific Ocean, especially here in Santa Cruz, it is nothing short of magical. And my brain waves are different. Everything in my life is different. And it is the greatest natural medicine for me on the planet. And that connection with psychedelics is incredibly deep and incredibly strong. And there are lots of ways to play off of that. And that being in that state, so when you're in a gamma state, number one, it's your highest propensity for learning. It's the most healthiest state that you can be in. It's the most heightened state of well-being, right? And like, I don't know, like I look at life and there's sort of three things that are important to me. Number one is that I think we should all want to live a life of well-being, right? I think we should all want to live a life of nature. And having been a little bit of a psychonaut, not only do I think the currency of the 21st century and where our species' center of gravity is in the ultimate gift, which is creativity. Just look at our species.
Hang on. I gotta say something. So TC.
Yeah.
Right. Let's take VC. Okay?
Vince Collier.
Let's take VC. VC. What if VC was standing here right now? God bless his soul.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
What would he say to him?
I take 5 fucking mushrooms every time I go surfing. I love it. Probably. I'm in my gamma state all the time.
Would that be the state of affairs he wanted to see? Would that be the state of affairs he would want to be in?
Well, quite frankly, I think VC, because the thing with what you're talking about is that we're not talking about uppers. You know what I mean? Like just some of the surfing, the history of surfing, and the.
Dude, I'm older than you guys, I think.
No, I'm the oldest for sure. No, well, he's old. You're older than me. Yeah. I'm 61.
I'm 67.
63.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Back up.
Not that
Well,
far away, bro.
I have a feeling that some of the intense years that we had surfing, I think some of the. I don't think there was gamma. I think the gamma was injected with some uppers that got people like on fuego.
All right. So let me just like take this brainwave discussion a little bit further. So,
Can you make it more mainstream?
no.
Okay.
Well, we can maybe a little bit.
I'm fucking with you. Of course I made more mainstream.
Out of a Pro Bowl, BC, some of these guys are like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck is he talking about?
Well, I think that they would be a little bit more aware than you give them credit for.
Do you think they'd be understanding?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Continue on, Toby, please.
Look, so the Oscar Wilde quote is my favorite.
Which is?
Okay, this is this. So roughly 100 billion humans or hominids have lived before us, right? There's roughly like, I don't know, 8 billion of us on the planet today. And what Oscar Wilde said was like, everybody else is taken, you might as well be yourself.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
There's never going to be another one of any of us ever.
No.
So, like, that's the majesty of life. And the beauty of life does get hard. Politics get fucking hard. Paying your bills get hard. Your friends' bullshit that they're throwing on you, like, all that gets really hard. But at the end of the day, it's like, the magic that we have is like, as far as I know, I do believe in reincarnation. That's a whole different podcast. But like this is one, right? So like, you want to like live that life despite the ups and the downs. And it does take me, I get wound up at times as well too. I've been through a ton of shit. I don't want to get on this podcast. But that majesty is like, literally like, everyone else is taken. Be yourself. Love yourself. And when you open yourself up to that, despite the ups and the downs, life's not perfect.
No.
Life gets a little easier. And your well-being kind of like gets a little bit better.
Yeah.
By the way, that's
And
fantastic.
you get to share stuff with people. And you don't care if they like it or not. You've spoken it. You said your word.
Yeah. Like, no matter what, like, there's too much people out there. I gotta be politically correct. I got DEI. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. It's like, man, like.
Were you always like this? Was there a point in your life that you saw change that made you change your philosophy?
Oh my God, like, that's a very deep question. I want to make a long story really short. So, no, my mom was hardcore Catholic, hardcore. So I got put into parochial schools in 5th grade all the way till I got to college. St. Rose, East Catholic High School, and
Where?
in East Hartford, Connecticut.
Uh-huh.
And I talked about this on my Stanford podcast. Stanford. Separate story. You guys, inside jokes. Anyway.
I not work with him anymore?
No.
Oh, by the way,
Oh, fuck.
Yes,
Nelly, got something good to say right now?
I do.
What do you got going on?
Just saw Neil's truck and
Nice.
I come over and say hi
Come
to
on,
TC.
buddy.
Nelly's in the house. Come on in, Nelly.
Never a better time.
Yeah, fantastic.
With TC.
Yes. Dave, Nelly.
Nicole,
Love that.
I overstock on the street.
Come on, bro.
Yes, I love you so much.
Yes.
Hey, buddy. Love you.
Always love Nelly visits.
For interrupting.
No, are you kidding me? Hang out. Toby's in a very great story right now. Let's back up into this.
Okay, so we're talking about like who you
Go.
are, where you were at that point in time. So very heavy Roman Catholic. I then went to parochial schools, was an altar boy, and there was two things that struck me. One was that the Roman Catholic faith has basically this belief that you're born with original sin. That's a hard thing to understand. Like I have like
I don't understand
3
that.
It's not
grandkids.
possible to understand
No, it's
that.
fucked up. No, so
How-
like,
how old-
I'm like,
How old, at what age were you?
oh, so I started at 9 years old going to parochial schools. Religion every day. Old Testament, New Testament every day.
I
So
can't believe easier.
that one, like, then when I started studying Eastern religion philosophy, Eckhart Tolle's books really resonated with me. And then what the biggest breakthrough was, God, I'm forgetting his name, a book called Conversations with God. And it was like literally opened up my eyes to an entirely different world. And that one, like, wait, being born with original sin, that's a fucked up fucking thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And two, that I have to go sit with a priest and absolve my sins. Like I have to go through some intermediary. If you believe in a higher being, which I do, that's a whole different podcast. But like,
what other choice?
that's messed up.
Okay, what other choice did you have? Was there another choice for you?
Yeah, there's another choice. Like, do you believe in a greater being?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can't talk. You can't connect to that being yourself. I can.
Yeah.
So,
Does a sip of tequila help you?
No.
good Lord. So I'm going to take this podcast and do like a very
This podcast was about surfing and psychedelics.
yeah. I'm going to take it into like a very deep, intense fucking.
What's the next
YouTube.
level of mine? I was the gamma. I want to know that part first.
All right.
There's 5. No, I got 4.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
I don't know.
The floor is yours.
The audience may want to. What does the audience want to hear?
The floor
Sorry.
is yours. The floor is
Let's
yours.
go to after Gamma next. I want you to finish this original thought.
Okay.
Okay, so, okay, let me start with like where this original podcast started, which is like the parallels between surfing and psychedelics. So where I was going with, like, I started with this whole like neuroscience conversation. I'm not a sort of neuroscientist. I just play one on podcasts. Anyway, so what happens with the human brain, and I had the opportunity to work with some amazing people at Stanford. One was Dr. David Eagleman. Amazing like one of the world-class leading neurologists in the world. And he was talking about this study where the human brain, when we start, our neuroplasticity, which is all of our creativity is, all of our spirit is the highest early in life. Mm-hmm. At 16, first of all, at 16, your brain stops developing, and then your neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity is really about broad thinking. Do you have like young people in your family? Like I have like 3 grandchildren. The questions that come out of their mouth are nuts, right?
I got 'em,
There's
yeah.
no boundaries, there's no borders.
No.
They're like, their neuroplasticity is so rich, right? And over time, what happens is that, like, biology says if you're not using it, you lose it, right? Like whether it's sports or riding a bike. Same thing with neuroplasticity. That's the society that we live in today, which is that like you have the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same actions, and that just like perpetuates. So it's in politics,
Right.
feeling bad about yourself, or the people that don't like you, or everything on top of that. And what happens is though, is like we give away our greatest gift, which is creativity. It is like, seriously, like look at just look around you.
I mean,
what our species has done, right?
look around this building.
Right, and so you give that away, and what happens is that your world shrinks and shrinks. And the study that he showed me is like 98% of the population, when they reach 65, 50% of their neuroplasticity just doesn't exist anymore because you're not using it, right? And so we fall into all of these like what I call like zombieism and traps. And like the opportunity is like you're unique. You're one individual. That's a gift. And like you don't have to fall into like the traps of being a human being where like I get up every day, like I think about the same things. I don't like myself. I don't like politics. I don't like who won the presidential election. My life sucks, and like and on and on and on. And like so to bring this kind of back to our original conversation, to me surfing is like my wife went through like the most intense cancer survival that was like less than 1% chance, right?
And she's doing good. She's doing good.
And the only way I survived that was like getting into the water. That is the only fucking way that this worked for me. And my psychedelic journeys. And what both of they do is that you get you into that gamma state, but more importantly, like what's important, what's real, what's life, what's matter, what's time, right? And this community and this space that we live in is so fucking unique and special. And like this counterculture feel and like individualism and like you're okay for who you are and who you are and who you are. And we all are, but we fall into this fucking shit and trap of like, I gotta be this way, I gotta be that way. And like, life can be really simple if you want. So after having gone through this like very intense like Roman Catholic faith, and the only reason, okay, so let me tell the truth. The only reason I came out altar boy in 6th grade was like when I hated school.
Got you out of school?
Yeah, I hated school. So I was like in 6th grade, and then like this
Get me out of here.
This priest comes in and goes like points to 2 kids in the class, and they get to leave. I'm like, fuck, like how do they get to leave class? Like, oh, they're altar boys. And like in the 70s, a lot of people had their funerals like during the day. So they're like, oh yeah, they're altar boys, and they got to a funeral. I'm like, fuck, dude, sign me up for that shit.
Wow.
Then also in my church, there's like hard pews, and the altar boys got this in these gold like Barca lounger chairs.
Oh.
And they have like the plate when you go up there and go like the body of Christ. You gotta go amen, right?
Do you collect the money too?
No, there's just the body.
Okay.
So when I'm sitting in a really comfortable chair, my brothers and my mom are sitting in these hard fucking pew seats. Then like my brothers would look for me, they would try to avoid me because like they'd come over, and when like the priest would go by the crest, I would take that little plate, kind of jam in their neck a little bit.
Yep.
I'm still the big brother, right?
Get the torture the bros.
But what's all that? Like that's all just trippy stuff. Like it works for some, but like literally, dude, like you are who you are, and that's like to bring this back. My experience with psychedelics is the same. It gets to basically completely rewire my brain.
What could Elon Musk learn from surfing?
Wow. Do we have 2 hours or something?
Well, hang on.
Well, you bring up Elon because
Did you know he has his own podcast? He's stealing our
blow it
shit
up.
right now.
Hey, shameless plug for the podcast. What do you got, Nelly?
I don't have any.
Did you know he's stealing?
You know, come on, you're doing a podcast.
Did you know, TC?
Trying to plug it.
You should
Did
plug
you know
it.
that my killing dearest, him,
Oh,
my dearest friend is stealing our shit?
Oh, that's great. I love that. Hey, by the way, have you beat him in golf lately?
Fuck no.
No, but I did have to rub in this hat right here. See what that says?
What's it say?
It says the preserve.
No call?
Oh, you went somewhere special?
I lost
Is that what
your
happened?
invite. I lost your
Oh, Nelly. Hey, Nelly, just really quick. Any updates on what's been going on in surf? We've got some great swell lately. I know you've been out documenting. Who lately has been standing out? Get a couple quick ones.
Max St. Dennis, Oli, Moon, Isla Hardy.
Isla's been killing it. I saw you post some photos of Isla, yeah.
Bear Hunters.
Okay.
Charging, you know, and our big brother Zealand is definitely like.
I seen Zealand traveling the world, killing it like always.
He's rushing around.
Holy shit, about more tequila, I think.
We're gonna jump. We're you're killing Toby so, but just real quick, I gotta commend you because you're like our talent scout.
I love that.
Yeah, you are. You know, like you are the one that
TC,
sort of, yeah.
he has his own brand new podcast. He's fucking up. And he asked.
Hold it. Hold it. We're gonna. By the way, I'm doing some journalism right now.
Have we been invited?
Sam Coffee this morning.
Oh, what the hell? Sam Coffee this morning.
Bro.
Standing up tall.
Where is that?
Secret spot. Get
Very
set.
sharky out there, I'll say that.
Secret spot. Sam Coffee.
Now, is that Capitola?
TC,
Capitola by
have
the
we been
sea.
invited to come on the show? Yeah.
I mean, we are. We're for the first anniversary.
Invited you.
We got the big show. We got the big. Neil, we got the big show coming up.
I'm around the lot, dude. I'm just in here to play some love.
Passion. No call.
Hey, we're gonna jump back into our podcast right now.
Back to work.
Toby, I got a question. As we got into this, you're the surfing and the psychedelics. As far as changing people's lives, with you hear a lot about microdosing right now. You hear a lot about people with PTSD. I know from personal family stuff, I've seen success in it. Is that a lot of your motivation for like being involved in this?
Yeah. Good Lord. I think, God, where's that? That's a really loaded question.
I've been hitting you with some hard ones.
I think, okay, let me kind of rewind back a little bit and talk about like some of my heroes when I was alive. Like, top of the list, probably Terrence McKenna. Like right behind him, probably Ram Dass. And there's some like interesting cats, later day guys, like people like Sam Harris.
Do you know these people, TC?
No, but I like the name Terrence. Terrence is my. Terrence got my attention.
Terrence is what you're called when your wife's mad at you.
No,
Hey, Terrence.
only my mom calls me Terrence.
So again, I'm not a neuroscientist, but I play one on podcasts. So Terrence McKenna was one of the greatest philosophers of all time. Talked about like stone ape, which is like how our species evolved, where chimpanzees started eating mushrooms and evolved into hominids. Like really interesting theory. But I think where the magic comes from is that going back to listening to Terrence McKenna's podcast, and then literally John Hopkins University, after the 1960s psychedelic blitz in San Francisco, and it got entirely shut down by the government, all this amazing research, Big Pharma takes over, and people are like suffering with alcoholism, other addictions, PTSD. Big Pharma is cleaning the clock. And out of that time comes MAPS, which actually started here in Santa Cruz. And then Johns Hopkins University, this Roland Griffiths, focused on psychedelic research. Unfortunately, he's just recently passed away. Terrence McKenna, Ram Dass. And like the short version of all the research that I've looked at is that I look at somebody that went through literally whatever trauma they were suffering from, 10 years of meeting with a psychotherapist and ingesting big pharma pills, 10 years. One individual that went to Iraq or Afghanistan or somebody suffering PSD that went through 2 psilocybin sessions and cured themselves versus someone with 10 fucking years of therapy and big pharma fucking medicine that did nothing. And the indigenous people of our culture had it right. The medicines, the knowledge that they had. And to administer that when someone can literally get through this transition, this addiction, this PTSD that they're having in 2 psilocybin sessions versus 10 fucking years with a psychotherapist and Purdue Pharma, that fucking says it all.
But why isn't that changing? Is it because the pharmaceuticals lobby so hard?
Yeah.
It seems like there should be. I know firsthand from a family member with PTSD that what you're talking about changed their life and made them have a better lifestyle, believe in themselves without taking pills and feeling shitty. But I just don't get why it's not catching on more.
Hang on, I'm interject here. For women or for men?
Both. I mean, we touched on PTSD, just that alone. I mean, because there's so much that could be. There's a gamut of reasons why somebody has PTSD. It doesn't have to be military. It could be, like.
No, my entire family went through that. My wife was diagnosed with an extremely rare, you're going to die cancer, right? Like, just drop that bomb on any family. Like 2 daughters. My oldest daughter she's pregnant with her first son, right? And like, that is massive fucking trauma. Mm-hmm. And it's real. We all deal with it. We all are suffering from like a massive amount of like uncontrollable events, controllable events, demons in our fucking mind, and like everything under the sun.
Is this when it started for you?
No.
During that time?
No, it started for me. So, I went to these parochial schools. I went to graduate from high school, and I'm like, this is not how life is. And smoked my first joint in college, and
way late, huh?
Yeah, that journey then took me to more Eastern religion philosophy, and like, I don't agree with anything organized. For some people, it's great. Like if you want to go to church that works for you, awesome. I also think for some organizations may not be the most altruistic thing. And I think like I've just bought into like literally like you are who you are, you're unique. And then working through that situation was like finding plant medicine and not having to go through 10 years of psychotherapy, big pharma fucking medication. And like, it actually takes you in the wrong direction. And when all of us have had probably people that have like dealt with plant medicine and have got to the awe of human, okay, what's awe? When I'm surfing, I'm like, oh, like I feel one like with nature, right? Plant medicine does the same thing. Breaks down all the fucking shit that our species has to deal with and just connect with like who we are. And if you like want to get like even like a deeper, like out of like sort of mainstream, there's like another realm of physics called quantum mechanics. So here's how life works. Like there's chemistry, and then there's this thing called the periodic table. The elements, there's like 120 some odd so elements that we're made of. Then you like break that down even further, and you get to the atomic scale, right, which are protons and neutrons and electrons. Then underneath that, you have these things called quarks, up quarks and down quarks. And then underneath that, you have things where particles can be wave and particle at the same fucking time, like Schrodinger's cat. Like, who are we? What's the universe? What is reality really, right? And we get so fucking wrapped up over here when, like, life is pretty straightforward. And, like, what plant medicine does is connect you with who the fuck you are and where we are and where we should be and what's important in our life. And then it gets like, and I also like get nutbally. You and I have had this conversation where, like, when I'm not working, I'm like, oh, like, I want to hang myself. And when I am working, I'm like, I'm working really too hard. But, like, as I said, 100 billion human beings have lived before us. There's 8 billion now. There's only one of each of us right now. And when you let, like, media and, like, 21st century fucked up life just suck you out of, like, who the fuck you are. So, like, just come back to our original, like, topic for tonight. What does surfing do? It fucking connects you.
It's a mental laxative.
It fucking connects you with who the fuck you are. And the earth and the planet and the spirit and the medicine. Like, that's like, and what does like plant medicine do? Like, we didn't make it. Nature made it. The cosmos made it. A greater fucking being made it. We didn't make that. What does that do to you? It literally connects you with, like, myself and this moment in time and being organic and real and authentic. And that's like, that feels fucking good.
Yeah, it does.
Surfing and plant medicine feels really fucking good.
So to people like who are watching and don't have experience with plant medicine and have trauma or PTSD or are taking too many pills each day that's affecting their health, what advice could you give them to explore the possibilities of trying plant medicine?
Can I answer that question for you?
Yeah.
I was abused by my father, as you know. We talked about that. And the only thing you can do is put one foot if you cannot have him defeat you. You got to put one foot in front of the other and keep going.
Is he a prime candidate? Sounds like he has some PTSD from an experience with his father.
Yeah.
That possibly he could be a candidate for plant medicine. I mean, thanks for sharing that, Neil. Because I mean, that's it takes guts to let public know when you have things like that. But I mean, people are dealing with shit all the time, and more so in today's world than ever. And usually they're given a pill.
TC, can I say one more thing? What I think of as of right now, and I surf. I like to surf. It's like right now I'm living in heaven. And before that, when I was 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, I was living in hell. It was hell. And now I'm living in heaven. That's it.
So surfing's your drug right now?
As soon as I put my fucking just right here, my little toe in the water, I don't have to surf a fucking wave. As soon as I put my toe in the water, right here, I'm good.
I've always said that.
I'm good.
Surfing's such a funny thing because
I don't have to catch your wave, TC.
you don't have to be behind the lens of Nellie's life to be a surfer.
No, TC.
You don't even have to catch a wave
TC,
to be a
you don't have
surfer.
to be in the barrel.
No.
The magnificent shot that he just showed us. You don't have to. I'm not going to be there. I will never be there. But my little toe will be there.
I saw your paddle in the barrel once.
What's the definition? What's the definition of plant medicine for someone that was late to the?
Well, I think plant medicine represents our oldest beginnings and a truly, I think, connection between human beings and plants and how to truly connect with nature, what your life is all about, what nature is all about, like what future generations are all about. And life gets like really complicated. Life turns in like really fast times. And there's massive like opinions that impact you. And like I think at the end of the day, like I wrestled in college and high school. I got to like do cage fighting with Frank Shamrock and do crazy shit. And I think I had the opportunity to like coach middle schools and high school wrestlers. And like, I think the most important thing is like helping people find their confidence, helping people find like, that's the center of gravity. Like, love yourself, have self-confidence in yourself. And that's not always easy. Like I always have doubts like, oh, even the success that I have, like, oh, like what I'm doing right now, like, am I being successful? Like, fuck, maybe I'm not that really good. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought. And like, you have those fucking doubts that come in. But like, when you, like, for me, like I said, like, meditation's really hard. Breathing's really hard. Yoga, like, I probably just need to focus more time doing that.
Yeah.
And when I'm out in the water, I literally, like, there's this term that human beings called awe. I think, like, just if you think of awe, you can picture what that means. Right. Probably something beyond this planet, like, that just connects with your spirit, right? Like, it's like, just fucking awe. And like, where's awe exists in our life? And I'll tell you, like, for me, there's been 2 times that existed. Surfing, and then I played like Pop Warner football, didn't like it. And then in the 70s, I started wrestling. That was like the nerd sport, like the weird kids fucking wrestled. But like, I connected with that community. It was like awesome. And then I was in a chess club, right? And then so I went like junior year, freshman year, junior year, sophomore year. In junior year, in December of 1977, I went to the movie theater and watched Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
All right? And like, it just like captured my imagination. I took disco dance lessons. I ended up getting like best dancer. I was like the most popular fucking kid, only just because like I love that movie. It like deeply connected with me. I took disco dance lessons, right? And I think like that story is just like so epic in like this feeling of like flow, deep fucking flow and energy, from surfing to watching Saturday Night Fever, taking dance lessons, and I remember like it encapsulated itself my senior year. Like I'm in this Catholic school, East Catholic High School in Manchester, Connecticut, and every like day they do this like homeroom thing, and they would ask a question. I'm in my homeroom, and then just like, okay, the question of the day was like, if you could invent your own company or your own business, what would it be? And like some girl gets on there and goes like, I would invent a Toby Corey doll. And I make trillions of dollars. I'm like, I'm in my homeroom, like I'm in high school, like, oh, this is the most fucked up thing I've ever done.
And I'll stab it with a knife.
But here's what it did. But what it meant to me was like, hey man, like, I'm not gonna fucking like fall into like the popularity, because everyone, like the football players were like the big guys. Yeah. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not doing it. I'm playing chess. And I'm doing what the nerds do in wrestling, because like that's where I'm at right now. That's my fucking jam, right? And people that I feel like they're being so fucking judged. And like when you just literally boil down like the start of this conversation, like the currency of the 24th century is like just creativity. Yeah. And like it's like you're beautiful the way you are. You want to be fucking like be Elon Musk, be Elon Musk. You don't give a fuck, don't give a fuck, right? And then, like, I think just when society can kind of like connect with that, get a little bit more like intellectually informed, and like learn this thing about like, you know, like actually able to think for themselves, society will be better. I haven't lost faith in it.
Should we like what Musk is doing? Should we enjoy what he's bringing to the planet, to the Earth?
First off, you have a great history with Elon. You were one of the top employees at his company, and probably know him as well as 1% of this country. Are you intrigued by what he's up to these days?
Man, wow, that's a deep question. One, I have a lot of respect for Elon. I think the companies that he's built, the time I got to share with him, the guidance I got from him, he's clearly operating on a level that no human being has. So it's like, got his marketing acumen, his engineering acumen, all of it, and combined. I don't know, like it's been a long time since I worked at Tesla, and I think is one of the greatest mysteries of our time right now, which is like, what his motivations are. Here's what I do know. He creates amazing companies with amazing products, aside from the Cybertruck, and amazing technology. And so he must see something in his activities that can help further a better humanity. Like, I don't know. I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt. I don't understand it.
I don't either. I mean, he's the first lady.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
He's the first lady.
I don't know why he's the new first lady. Personally, I wonder why the wealthiest guy in the planet wants to be a first lady. It's so weird to me, personally. Just saying, but I don't know. And maybe his motivations are different. Maybe he has another grand plan. But we'll talk about that on another show. But one more thing. You were at Stanford for a long time, lecturing and teaching an entrepreneurial program there. Done with that.
Yep.
You said earlier you have some big plans.
Cruise Foam.
You have. Well, you've been with Cruise Foam, and that was what we talked about in the last show. And I know Cruise Foam's doing
still
great.
with Cruise Foam.
Yeah, Cruise Foam. I know their Amazon thing's going great now, and they're growing. There's more coming up.
Yeah.
Are we going to have you back to talk about the future of what's going to happen? Because I feel like you're onto some big stuff. Besides what we just talked about with the plant, you have some big plans coming up.
So I do. Early on in my career, I'd say studied economics. Then I took my first programming course when these people weren't even alive right now, which was like punch cards. And it just captured my imagination in ways I didn't really understand. Anyway, first part of my career was in tech, then obviously sustainable energy, sustainable material. But I...
Oh, and you retired at 37 and got bored really quick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He can't fucking speak away with
you need some context for that, man. Like, you need some context. So, like, okay, here's Warren Buffett had this greatest statement, which was like, wealth's not measured by what you make, it's by what you don't spend. So here's like the jam of it, right? So like, if you're fortunate enough where you like create some wealth, right? Then you're like, hey man, I'm not gonna go buy a ton of cars, place in Maui, France, Italy, Sorrento, whatever. And like my burn rate is fucking huge, right? Mm-hmm. And like, then you gotta keep feeding that. So you gotta keep working, you gotta keep creating wealth. Versus like, hey man, like, I'm fortunate, I kind of like was lucky, some skill. And so if I have this like super low burn rate, I can like not have to work if I don't want to work. Mm-hmm. Right? And that to me was like,
And your wife says what?
that was like the greatest gift ever. Like, hey,
She said, yeah, I signed up for that.
fuck out of my house.
Yeah, get back to work. I see you too much.
So like the short version is like, hey man, like, so yes, I took my company public in '95, got to retire in '97, and then what I kind of bought into that and like, okay, my parents, that's a whole different conversation. Like, got to set them up. Dad, mom, you work for me, you guys put me through school. I want to set you up, right? All family members and my kids, like, hey, like, just set everybody up. Like, end of the day, like, I just want a place in Santa Cruz. That's it. That's all I fucking need to do. Like,
Little house
I
by the
don't give a
beach.
fucking shit about anything else. So,
Go surf, right?
and just surf, yeah. And like, yeah, like, and I'm still like trying to just struggle with all of that. And I don't know if it's like, is it ego where like I still want to be relevant? Or is it like, hey, I'm really altruistic and want to like move the needle forward? Is it all the above? Is it none of the above?
I don't think you don't know right now.
I don't fucking know.
It's-
I know. I have some really cool ideas.
You're Tyson getting back in the ring.
No, Tyson got I didn't even watch it. I heard it was terrible.
It was awful.
If Nelly asked you to come on his podcast, would you just tell him just say no?
Dude, like, no
How many times did Neil interrupt you?
You're the only people. No, you are the only guys. You're the only people that want me on your podcast.
Nelly.
Hang on.
Nelly, who's on next week?
Expendables, I believe.
What? Damn!
Dude.
I'll see you at the Christmas show.
Jeff Waiters and the boys.
Love you, buddy.
you.
You know I love you, right?
And then TC and Neil next week.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay, yeah, buddy. Woo. Have a great night.
Hey, say hi to the family for me.
Very interesting, huh?
Say hi to the family.
Why are you leaving right now?
Nelly in the house.
Did you use some?
Hey, you got a drink.
I don't do that.
No, he's on the.
Worse than the pharmaceutical.
I got some blow over here for you.
He doesn't do that either.
Love you, Tim.
Later, Nelly.
Some plant medicine.
Love that.
Oh my god.
Nelly's a beauty. Nelly?
Oh, Nelly's amazing.
Nelly?
I sort of want to summarize what we've been into tonight. We've been sort of a little bit outside the rails. Your plan.
We're never in the rails.
Well, we aren't. We don't do this. But I want to just get focused again on plant medicine, as we can call that, possibly. And I want to swing back around to people who aren't familiar and may be doing other things that they think are helping them that's not.
Okay.
And why should they explore it?
Okay. Yeah. God, everyone's dealing with a whole bunch of stuff across huge spectrum of humanity. Here's what I think about plant medicine. I think the most important thing is to open yourself up and broaden your horizons. So I lecture to a lot of college students, and I have this Zentrepreneur chart. It has 3 axes, X, Y, and Z, right? And what I talk about is the magic of life is creativity and expanding your consciousness. So the X-axis is consciousness. So what is consciousness? How you perceive the world. And what are things that you can do? We all do it, right? It's surfing, it's yoga, it's meditation, it's breathing, it's fucking knitting, it's yarn, it's origami or whatever, right? And but most humans are literally stuck in static. Then there's the Y-axis. What's Y-axis? Knowledge. What's knowledge? Wisdom. What's the cornerstone of wisdom? Information. So how much new information are you gathering? And that's a combination of what are you reading? Written books, podcasts, exploring your life, new people that you meet. And the problem with society is that all social media is geared for one thing, to keep you in the same swim lane. So when you go on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, you get a social graph built about you. So if you're a Republican, what do you get? More Republican. If you're a Democrat or liberal or whatever you are, you get fed the same stuff. And here's the simplest way to test this theory. If you go on LinkedIn right now and just friend request 25 people that you don't know, if enough of them say they don't know you, LinkedIn will generate a message to you, don't reach out to people you don't know. And go to Facebook, and a couple of people oh, they're interesting people, oh, do you know this person? The exact opposite should be true. You should connect with fucking people with extremely different views, right? And then the Z-axis is I think your work product could be art, could be a song, it could be a business plan, or whatever. What are you producing, right? So the magic is are you fucking expanding in the world? And for me, what plant medicine does is allow you to connect with the earth, with the source, with the creator, like surfing does, and find who the fuck you are and what makes you happy and where you want to go, because society literally pigeonholes you. And what plant medicine does is allow you to expand and think color outside the lines.
I love that. That's a
You
great
guys
summary
went
right there.
to New Leaf, right?
Yeah.
Did you come out of did you walk in there and go, who the fuck am I? When you walked in there? You did?
Okay, in a different way. I did, because the New Leaf that I first learned about was a co-op owned by the people. Then private equity came in, and so now it's big. Okay, I was gonna admit
Is it
I like going to fucking Roots or fucking Staff of Life.
right?
Yeah. Right. No, it's
It's real. It's not.
bright.
It's not private equity and like spun up. Like, not this, of course I go there. I'll buy stuff there.
Is it like?
But like where I go, like where do I like to go? I like to go to Fish Lady, get great salmon, fresh crab, and lemon anchovies. And I'll go to Gail's Bakery and maybe get like a really good facility. And I'll go to fucking Roots and like go to like the fresh produce area.
After you surf in the morning, where's the first place you go to?
Okay, so
Get a barrel, get the barrel, or do you go to the donut shop, or?
the barrel like a donut, yeah. Okay, so this was like, okay, I'm gonna give you. Unfortunately, this place is shut down. Here's my dream.
Which place shut down?
Here's my dream when I used to surf every day. I go to Pleasure Point.
Yeah.
Especially in the summer. I catch the most amazing shit. I'm in heaven. I'm like, fuck, dude, like I'm not even a human. Then when I'm paddling, I start to paddle and then I stop and I catch a wave. And like the wave carries me in and I'm like, good fucking Lord. I am exactly who I should be, where I should be right now. And like, then like, I just coast into the ocean. I take my shit off. Then there was this fresh juice bar next to the butcher shop. What was that called?
Oh yeah, the place in Pleasure Point sold in the glass.
I
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
did 3 day
Next to Coffeetopia.
fast with that.
Portola.
So
What was the place called?
Yeah.
the most amazing organic juices.
Yeah, and they would sell it in the jar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a pint milkshake. Anyway, so like I would surf. Then I would go to that fucking plant jar. And I fasted like 5 times on that shit. And like that was crazy. First of all, you get like flax seeds.
Yeah.
And then you fast for 3 days, you're hungry as fuck. Anyway, so then like, okay, so surf,
Juice.
the juice bar, then land of medicine.
Okay.
My truck, I take my truck,
Very.
my wetsuit's hanging off.
TC had a very.
I'm at land of fucking medicine, dude. And I'm like literally in an entirely different fucking universe.
You talking about going up to the Buddha? Oh, that Buddha.
Can we ask you a question? What's your most popular podcast that you listen to nowadays?
I'm fucking off the lip, dude.
Boom!
I would tell you. I listen to a ton. I listen to John Hayden, Sam Harris. Literally like the podcast I listen to all the time. And then
Who
like,
we had TC?
every time like, why? Because it's fucking authentic. It's
Yeah,
real.
it's real. You don't edit shit.
And like, who the fuck would have me on this podcast?
We love you.
Only you two crazy motherfuckers.
Toby, it's been awesome having you on the show tonight. Yeah.
We don't have no fucking rules.
So, for those of you that are still here, Toby, Corey, thank you so much for being here. I mean, you're like I said, your resume is stacked, and
shit, dude.
well-
I don't even know where this goes, dude.
well, but what I'm happy to hear is that you're still thinking and you're still on a mission, and
that is true.
and we'll learn more
I
about
don't know
that.
about
You know
thinking.
what, TC?
Mission.
All his grandeur, right? He
Yes.
still wants to come on the off with it. In spite of all your grandeur.
There's no grandeur. Here's what I would say.
But you still want to come on our stupid fucking show.
No, I love your show. I fucking love this show. But what I would tell you is that the next show that we should do,
Yeah.
okay,
We'll do it.
So
There's
if we're talking-
nothing we won't do.
if we're talking plant medicine, there's like another
Here we
medicine
go.
that comes from the Sonora Desert toad. It's called 5-MeO-T.
The toad.
He knows it.
Also called the God particle. Okay?
What do you call it, TC?
It's the number uno numero.
And so, got to do that. That story is rich and massive. And like the connection with the fucking creator. Yeah, I'm gonna.
And did you say earlier that that's one of the strongest? Is it a plant-based medicine? When it comes from a
It is
toad?
You are who?
Yeah, it's from a toad.
It's from a toad.
Yeah, but it is one of the strongest, correct?
The strongest.
The strongest.
The strongest psychedelic on the planet.
Do we have to do that before we do the show?
DMT's plant based. Terrence McKenna would do that. Terrence McKenna is my hero. Always a shout out to Terrence. I love you. Wish you were here right now.
Yeah.
You're the fucking best. Your talks at Essalon were great. Love you. Anyway, DMT was like the creme de la creme. Then along comes this Colorado River toad, and it's a different molecular structure called 5-MeO-DMT.
Who found that?
And
Who discovers that? Who?
okay,
Who like the?
Okay, so I read Michael Pollan's book, How to Change Your Mind, and it's a great book. He did everything from peyote, San Pedro, LSD, opium.
No, the menu.
Yeah. Then he gets to, he meets this shaman from Mexico, and she introduced him to 5-MeO-DMT. So he describes it in the book, and basically it's like, it blew his mind out of the universe. And it was like, I read that and I'm like, holy fuck, this is crazy. I'm like, I fucking want to do that. So my youngest daughter, who's like super cool, she also is like from a time,
How old is she?
time beyond. She's 34 now. Yeah. And she's like fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing musician.
Did she understand you? Did she get you?
Well, did she say, "Let's do this, Dad"?
The question is like, do I get her? I don't know. If you want to get, you should get her on your show.
Fine.
She's a musician.
Get her on the show.
She's amazing. Like her music has been picked up by like fucking Google, Netflix, like all this shit. Anyway, she's like in a different universe. That's why I love her. And so I read this book, and she and she kind of listens to me sometimes. And then I was telling her about like, oh, I read this book about like 5-MeO-DMT, like fucking toad venom. And then so she's like, Dad, I'm going on this thing to Joshua Tree, and doesn't tell me what it's about. Like this is like 2020. And then so she does it. So like day 1 is combine, day 2 is mushrooms, day 3 is 5-MeO-DMT with her shaman. She's kind of worried about it because like it's super heavy, like the heaviest fucking psychedelic. So we're going through the show with my wife, and then she talks to the shaman.
What's your wife say?
Susan. Shaman gets
What's she saying?
Oh, she's out of the picture. She wouldn't have this shit. Dude. She wouldn't even smoke a joint. And then
She's out?
Yeah, she's out too. So anyway, Jordan goes on the show, doesn't tell me, and she does 5-MeO-DMT. Then Christmas, she usually give me like really cool presents. Like this my last birthday, she gave me this great man purse from Orlando Medicine. It's fucking awesome. Anyway, I'm rambling right now.
No,
so
you're good.
I
You're
get
good.
this
You're
tiny ceramic toad as a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
I went out and I'm like,
what's it?
Yeah, what is it?
What
And
is
she
the
goes,
thing?
Dad, I already, I didn't tell you, I did 5-MeO-DMT with my shaman. I paid her, and she's ready to go when you're ready. And I'm like, oh my God. And then she's like, do you like it? I'm like, yeah. She goes, Dad, you seem like you don't really like it. I'm like, dude, that's a fucking heavy gift, dude. Like, what have we done? No, maybe no. So I'll give you like,
Did that scare you to think? Was it a little unnerving to think you were gonna?
sort of, but sort of not, because like how I grew up, like East Hartford, Connecticut, wrong side of the tracks. Like, hey man, like you say you're gonna do something, you fucking do it, dude. So like, yeah, it was heavy. Okay, I'm gonna come back to the heavy thing, but so to show how heavy this was, I worked at this tech company. I was living in Park City, Utah.
What was the company name?
Novell. Yeah, with network operating system software. And then like the tech guys were there, they did skydiving. So like, hey, you should come with us. So I'm like, don't be a puss, like come do it. I'm like, yeah, cool. So like I go and it's
Jumped out of the plane?
yeah, but not tethered to somebody. So I go there and like I get
You don't tell.
yeah, no, 2 hours of training, we're in this board, and then like
No,
so I'm going
fuck
up
no.
and they're like, yeah, dude, you're not tethered to nobody. I'm like,
Fuck no.
I can't be a pussy. And like
Is that legal?
No.
nothing?
No.
So like I have to jump out of this plane
By yourself.
training by my fucking self,
fuck
dude.
that, dude.
And I was like,
Yo, give me the frog.
daughters were like 4 and 2. And I get down, my wife's like, you look like you saw a ghost. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking can't live in a library.
No, you fucking trying to do that by yourself the first
Yeah,
time?
by myself after 2 hours of training, dude. So anyway,
Wow.
tangent. So going back. So
That's fucking bullshit.
she's like, Dad, I got you the thing. Do it if you don't want to do it. I'm like, oh, I have to fucking do it.
No,
So
your daughter got you the.
prepaid shaman,
She took care of it.
5-MeO-DMT. Dad, just pick the fucking phone up, text Alyssa. Here's her number.
Get fucked
She's
up.
my shaman. So like, I can't back down from this.
Why can't you back down? You fucking jumping out of a plane
can't.
18,000 feet.
I did it. I can't do it. So anyway, I'm like kind of freaked out. I'm like, okay, when I get freaked out, it's just like in my mind like, hey, fuck, dude, you have to fucking just sink in and do it. So I call up the shaman. I schedule it. Then she's like, okay, like here's all its prep work, setting, and like.
Did she go with you?
No, well, she was there, but she was downstairs. Then, okay, this is such a longer podcast. I'm going to give you the shortest version.
We don't have no time to fucking minute.
It's the short version.
He's gonna go.
I have to. I'll give you a short version. So then, like, I go through 3 hours of prep, meditation, where I'm at. My wife's going through cancer. Da da da. Then she like lays down this like ancient fur, this shamanic tambourine,
Chant.
all the shit, chanting,
Right.
sage, all of it. And like, fuck, dude, she pulls it like a crack pipe. And like, all right, man, just like ingest and don't stop. So I'm like, all right, boom, lights the match. I feel like I'm in San Francisco on some crack fucking line. Like, zip. And then like within like less than a second, I'm gonna give you the short version. And no human words could ever describe this.
No.
No human. So I have no body. I'm not Toby Corey, but my conscience is there. And there's these polygons,
Yeah.
like kind of gray,
Yeah.
not black, but gray and white. Then I am literally right next to the creator. God.
Your creator.
No, all of us. All of us. And what it was radiating the purest love
Mm-hmm.
of all. Literally like the most amazing feeling you could ever fucking imagine. And you never want to leave that. Then, again, it's a longer story. I'm going to give you the shortest version of it. The medicine started to wear off. And I remember being like in absolute no man's land. And I'm at my place in Santa Cruz. And I could feel like the wind starting to hit me. And I came back into my body.
Yeah.
But before that, I was like, oh my God, like, I'm in fucking no man's land, dude.
Right,
Like,
right.
but like, oh well, I feel no pain. I have no body. Like, I'm not a dad or a husband or anything. Dude. Like, I'm fucking nothing. And then like, come back in and
Was
then,
your family there? Was your family there?
No.
Present?
No, yeah.
They were not.
only Jordan was downstairs. I was upstairs. And so I think like the whole, where I'm going with this thing is that the power of like ancient plant natural medicines
Yeah.
are so holistic
Yeah.
and so fucking healing. And
Yeah.
like wherever you are, how crazy you are, like just kind of
Why
come back.
are we not paying attention to that in today's world? We're so stuck with CVS card. You go to CVS to get your
You
medicine.
want to know why, Neil?
Yeah.
There aren't people paying the government to tell you about it.
Right? Here we go.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, man. Like, I kind of have like a massively,
We're on the same page, right? We're on the same page.
massively blessed life, but like, I mean, like, I'm just trying to like send a message of be yourself. You know your North Star.
Yeah.
You know it. You feel it.
Yeah.
You know where that is, right? And
Yeah.
like,
I know he knows where he knows where it's at.
You're preaching. You know, you're preaching in the choir over here. I know how important it is. I've seen firsthand how plant medicine can change people's lives. Multiple friends.
My doctor's a plant-based food doctor, and I can't do that. She goes, well, okay, you can't do it. You can't do it.
Well,
But Neil, here's what's going on. As I said, like what plant medicines do is literally help your brain increase neuroplasticity. And like just go online and Google
Yeah.
neuroplasticity on psychedelics. And like it's like literally like your brain naturally and your brain on psychedelics is 100x how rich that fucking like your world becomes.
Right.
How wider your world becomes, how compassionate you become, and like how you start to like dissolve like all the shit of like people telling you like you're not good enough or like you're worrying about what other people are thinking about you. And before plant med, like look at it. This is what all the indigenous people did. Like, there was no psychotherapists. There was like Purdue Farmer Living. Like, they came and just sucked all the oxygen, all of like our wealth out of the air and capitalism. Versus like, hey man, like, there's a reason why like marijuana is not legal, because like capitalism doesn't make money on that, or mushrooms, or what have you. And like, just go back to like, I posted this really interesting image on my Facebook 2 days ago. And it was from 1913, the Blackfoot tribe in like South Dakota. And like, you look at that and look at our world today and like, okay, like, yeah, the world's changed, but like, what hasn't changed is like, if you really want to accept this like incredible person that you are, and not letting people trip you out, whatever path you're on, it's okay. That's like students, I lecture a lot to students, and they're like, oh, like, when people subscribe to like, oh, Peter Thiel says you should do these 3 things. What I should, like, I'm gonna just give you some points of view. What I want you to do with that is like, make it your own, expand on it, take it in a different fucking direction, right? But the second you're like, oh, this person said I should do these 3 things.
Yeah. What's the most important message you give to your students?
The most important message I give to my students
Yeah.
is the currency of the 21st century is creativity. And what that means is that, and I translate that into, okay, let's talk about like how, like, what are you learning? What are you reading? Who are you talking to? What people are you reaching out to? And like, and I'll give you a really good example of how this like relates.
But you don't know who they're talking to. You don't know who they're reading. You don't know who they're reading. Are they telling you who they're reading?
Some do.
Okay.
Yeah. And so what's funny is that like I taught at Stanford for 11 years. And then I got like fed up with it. After 9 years were great, and then the last 2 years weren't.
Did you surf at that point in your life? Were you
Yeah.
surfing?
Yeah,
I saw you were.
that was.
Did you correlate between
Yeah.
teaching and then and surfing? Yeah.
All my life, like my life
Did
is
you-
so deeply fucking connected to surfing.
But when did that come around? When did that come about?
So okay,
When was the first time you stuck your toe in the? What's the first time you put a wetsuit on and stuck your toe in the water?
the first time that I did that was okay. So I grew up in Connecticut. My best friend in college moved out here to Manhattan Beach. 1988. I flew out to see him, and he was surfing, and I'd never had sushi in my life. And like took me to a sushi restaurant, and we went surfing. And I'm like, oh my god, that's like the California dream, dude. Like, this is 1988. We're surfing.
Where were
and
you
we're
at?
Sushi.
Where?
I was living in Connecticut.
Where were you then?
A company, Ashton.
Where was the sushi bar at?
Oh, it was right in Manhattan Beach.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Shit surf.
I never had it, dude. And I'm like, and I surfed like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing.
It's
like,
weird when you first eat sushi, though. You're like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same mode. Yeah.
It's,
So, like again,
Did the surfing take a hold of you, or the sushi and surfing take a hold
no,
of you?
surfing.
The surfing took a hold of you.
It was like, and like I'll actually start. It was even before that. So
And did you have friends of yours that were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Was it just you, or the people that you were with go, what the fuck
No.
are you talking about?
moved out here, had sushi. Well, I should say I tried to surf. Then, also tried to like snowboard, and like all that was like I sucked at it all. Surfing and like I remember my buddy Raul like tried to. He was like taught. God, there's just like world class down ski slalom surfer. He coached her, and like he taught me like it was like in October in front of Jack O'Neill's house. I was just getting fucking crushed, absolutely fucking annihilated. And like I remember like when I like played, when I wrestled and whatever, like, hey dude, like you gotta grind. Like if you want to get ahead in life and you want to learn something, people telling you suck, like fucking grind. And like I got fucking destroyed on that. And like
At Jack's?
yeah, it was in the winter, dude. And I'm like, I am gonna figure this out. And just like put my head into like I want to surf, and like, but like something magical captured my imagination. I was like, absolutely, I sucked, He's
knows
getting
that.
destroyed.
He knows that.
I went over the fucking falls, all of it.
Right.
And like, and the magic of that was like, fucking like conquering that, and like then going to Indonesia, serving all that shit. I'm far from fucking like a great surfer, but like, dude, it magically makes me a better person.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah.
I feel like right now, Toby, in your life, there's a time in your life when you opened that browser and you're like, holy shit. It changed your life, created a career, you created businesses and retired. I feel like currently your passion in this plant medicine thing is a little bit like when you explored that first browser sort of situation when you were younger, and you see this as like, you know, the internet was a frontier. Is plant medicine a frontier for you right now?
Oh, it's beyond a frontier. Like it's infinite.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Okay. You're in a building right now. He will tell you the history of this building, and I love him to death. My best friend, I love him to death. His wife, I'm even closer to his wife than he is. But they would tell you skateboarding started here. But look at the boards up here.
What are you looking at up here?
Look at what's representative of surfing.
These ones back here are the ones.
Dude, I have a 1965 Joel Woods surfboard.
Oh, right
hanging
here.
on my wall.
Here's a Joel. This is a Joel Woods intruder right here. Actually, Joel Woods was here, and we talked about this intruder right here.
My son-in-law gave me for like their wedding a 1965 Joel Woods.
Wow.
Matter of fact,
Joel Woods. You know what? He's a Joel. Like the intruder was a game-changing board, and I don't know if Joel Woods gets the, accolades he deserves. There it is, right there. That's in your backyard.
yeah, 1965. Dude.
Wow.
At O'Neill's, Joel Wood.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, because if you didn't stick with it for 40 years, you don't get the accolades. I want to zoom in on it one more time. Yeah, I'm a Joel Woods fan. Like I said, he came here. That Locatelli, that's a Mike Locatelli board out of his estate from Portola Surf Shop, and it's probably one of the best intruder Joel Woods boards on the planet. And Joel Woods.
So look,
I'm be lucky. The
bring it all
bottom
back-
line is-
Let's.
Bottom line is, I'm be lucky. Look where we're at. It's skateboard heaven and it's surfboard heaven.
I don't know if there's a summary of tonight's show tonight, but
No,
can we?
I don't know how the fuck you're gonna splice this.
Yeah, but with that being said, tonight we were going to talk about the plant medicines, and I am a huge fan, and I think that more people should explore it, and don't get walled in by what modern medicine is telling you what's right and wrong. Is my opinion, and I do want to beat the dead horse because people tune in and tune out of the show. Before we go tonight, just please let people know how important plant medicine is and why they should possibly explore it.
Oh man.
He put you on the spot, didn't he?
He did. So, okay, I have to qualify my answer really quickly. So, what I hate to do,
Take your time. Take your time.
when I lecture to students and teach at Stanford or what have you, my main message is that what I want people to understand is like, I don't want you to take my word for verbatim. I want you to does it connect with you? Is it interesting? How do you make it better? Because life is about following your own path and being who you are. So if Peter Thiel told me to do these fucking 10 things, these 10 things, I just don't fucking buy into that. Hopefully what I can do is here's what I'm interested in doing. Is expanding your consciousness. Giving you different fucking things to think about. A broader fucking perspective. You may think, that sucks. That's cool. That doesn't resonate with me. That does. I want to explore it a little further. Whatever that might be. And so, I think that humanity's at an incredibly interesting crossroads right now of okay, are we trending to destruction? Are we trending to rejuvenation? And unfortunately, I think all science would show we're trending towards destruction, right? Mm-hmm. And as a species, I'm 63. I don't know how long I'm going to live, but like probably like we're all feeling the effects of climate change. I can tell you right now, like I've had my place here since 1998. The first 2 weeks of October, not only were the hottest temperature of the year, fucking hottest temperatures in October. It was fucking like boiling, right? And like one might say like, oh my God, like Santa Cruz, like it's turning into Santa Barbara where like we still have a lot of like, anyway, like that's a fucking significant issue. And so what is the fundamental question we should ask each other, which is like, okay, are we the most advanced species on this planet? As far as I know, yeah. And like, okay, what more responsibility comes with that? In my opinion, there's one. And like, are we creating more opportunities or more problems for future generations? Right? In my opinion, we're fucking creating more problems.
Yeah.
Right? So like, that bothers me. Like that, you wanna know my North Star? I'm not perfect. I don't like, I'm just trying to like figure out like, okay, how do we change this trajectory where every new generation is less off than we are, less biodiversity, more fucking challenges? Like, that's not right. It's not fucking right where I get mine, my life was great. Oh, sorry, I created a massive fucking set of liabilities with you. Like, it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
So, my thesis, right or wrong, maybe the shit I do helps or doesn't help. Like, why'd I get involved in Crusoe? I'm like trying to help this fucking problem, which is like the way to solve these challenges and like switch the dynamic. Like, I want to create more opportunities and problems, right? So, everything from the top down is a clusterfuck of shit. Corporate owned. Like, you're not going to change anything. Change comes from the bottom up. That's it. The simple story I say. So why, like, the favorite thing I have is talk to college students. All I want to do is like, I'm playing chess, which is like, I want to expand your mind and like give you some things to think about in a broader perspective.
Yeah.
And hopefully a few of you will go on to solve some really fucking massive problems, challenges and problems that we have. And like change, go like, oh, all of a sudden the world now, like future generations have more opportunities versus like, oh, future generations have like more fucking problems. And so I'm literally like a fucking electron in a fucking universe and like the Milky Way galaxy.
TC, we love
of nothing, dude. And like maybe it's like one person out there where you're like, hey, that asshole had some connected with me, and like, yeah, like plant medicine's fucking cool, and like I'm fucking cool, and like I'm not buying into all the bullshit of society, and like,
Behave yourself.
like let freedom rock.
Can we? I know you have some big stuff in your wheelhouse right now. We're gonna have you back to talk about it. Yeah, because there's.
I have a lot going on.
I know you do, and it's hard to get it into corrals.
I
You know,
can't
it's
be corralled.
no, it's hard to do that. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
but-
surprised I was this coherent right now, dude. Like, I don't
Because you
know.
had 19 margaritas and we invite you on the show.
I just got started, dude.
Neil, this is like a 3-hour podcast.
I literally am mad 'cause, like, my son-in-law was supposed to give me a bunch of blow. And I was bring it tonight.
We could do a blow.
I would do blow, right? I would do blow by myself.
You know,
We could do a blow.
Toby, I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight. We
What are
don't.
you laughing at? Hang on.
Who doesn't like blow? It's the greatest drug.
Thank you for coming on the show tonight. Yeah, seriously,
No.
I
My shit's all over the map. I'm
Yeah,
right
we
now.
know. We love you.
I love, like, honestly, like, your show's awesome. The reason I like it is, like, one, it's authentic. B,
there's no script and we can go off the mat, and that's great.
We don't give a fuck.
But I'm looking forward to the next time you come back because I know that you have some amazing stuff in your wheelhouse that's going to be exciting to share.
I am working on some, like, really rad stuff. We'll see.
I know you are.
Hopefully it
Yeah.
comes into something.
He's got
really
like 19. He's got like 12 guests.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Yeah, so
Really bad job.
we'll have you back. And I noticed you're not really a social media guy, pretty much, right? That's not
Sporadic.
sporadic, yeah.
I could be.
No,
Right.
Instagram only.
Well,
period. If I write to him, he'll
Yeah.
reply to me.
Yeah, I could be. I don't know. Could be.
Okay, well, again, thank you for being on the show tonight. Neil,
Yeah.
what show number was that, by the way?
By the way, like honestly, like if I don't get, I'm not on show 1,000. I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
you're
You can come to the 1,000 show. It's gonna be a big night. It's gonna be a big night. Hey Neil, let's do a little sign off.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah. Who's on next week, by the way?
Ladies and gentlemen, next week on next week's show is Santa Cruz Mayor, the one and only Mr. Fred Keeley.
What color shoes? I'm gonna say checkerboard shoes.
Red shoes.
You're saying red shoes?
Yes.
I think they're gonna be checkerboards. We will talk about it next week.
He's the smartest dressed person in Santa Cruz County.
Fred Keeley always is sharp dress.
Yeah, Fred
So
Keeley.
tune in to find out what Fred wears next week. And we will say good night and sign off, everybody, right now. Before we go, I just want to show you one thing here that is absolutely spectacular. And that is the Star Wars series right there. We are talking some of the most valuable shit on the planet. Good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Off the Lip Radio Show. We are a podcast. Good night.